Now I want to add a second content div just like this one, just below it. And I'm going to insert my cursor in the code right after it. Double click on div. Just select the div again. Click here at the bottom of the screen to activate the window. Click New Style. I'm going to call this one Content 2. And the purpose of Content 2 is just to give me greater flexibility in my layout. So on pages where I want a little bit of content here and more content down below, I'll have two divs, which will allow me to better work my design around this nav box. The only styling I want to put in here is to add a little padding. I'm going to set the box padding 10, just so that I have some padding inside there. Things won't go right up against the edge as I insert them inside. Click OK, and if you don't check that little box, then you have to apply the style. The style's always at the bottom of the list, Content 2. The only problem is I know I want this content div down below the navigation box because I created it to create a wider div that I'll use in a later layout. The way to force a div like this down underneath other elements on the page is to create a clear style. So I'm going to choose New Style, Clear. And notice that I left the dot this time. This style is a class style. So dot clear is a class style, and all I'm going to set in my clear style is layout clear both. Okay, and now I can apply it to this. And you have to apply class styles, but one of the advantages of class styles is that you can apply them as many times as you like on the same page. So when I click on clear, look at that. It moves that div right down to the bottom of the page because it's forcing everything to be clear on both the left and right side of this div. Now I'm going to add just one more div to the very, very bottom. Again, putting my cursor in, and now you can make sure you're just above the last closing div tag and you know you're in the right place. Double click, select it. New Style. This is the last one for this layout. Now, this is going to have the navigation that goes at the bottom of this page. So again, it's going to be an ID style, and I'm going to call this Nav Bottom. Now, I want it to match the color of the banner at the top. So I can choose Background, and in the Color Selection dialog, if you choose this Select button, you can lift a color right off the screen. So I click OK. Now I know those colors are going to be a perfect match. In my box settings, I'll give this a little padding, just 10 pixels all the way around. And let's apply it as we create it. Click OK, and look at that. My new nav bottom. And here's a quick, easy way to get these same navigation links to line up across the bottom. I'm going to select them from here. And look at what's happening in the code, because when you copy and paste things around a page, it's very easy not to get everything you mean to get. I want everything in these UL tags. So let's make sure I've really selected everything in the UL tags. Now I'm just using Control-C to copy. Scroll down to the bottom. Now I want those links here, but because I copied them out of the code, what I need to do is find that nav bottom div, and I actually want to paste that into the code. So if you copy from the code, you need to paste into the code. If you copy from design, paste into design. When I click my cursor over here, you'll see that it appears. Now I only need one little refinement to make these stretch out horizontally here. Now I want to further redefine my LI tag, but only within this nav bottom div. So let's go to Manage Styles, and we can start with the LI we've already created. And when you right-click, you can modify style, but you can also create a new style copy, meaning a new style that is a copy of an existing style. So I want to make sure that this LI style only applies to list items that are in this part of the page. So this is where you want to further define a style by specifying the div tag that it's inside or any other container. So what this style says is, only display the LI tag in this way if it is contained within the nav bottom style. When I apply this style, it should not affect the styling of the list items in the nav box that we created earlier. Now, the trick to getting a list item like this to display horizontally is to go into the Layout category and in Display, choose Inline. And when I click OK, that's all it took to further redefine the style I'd already made to now work horizontally. One last refinement would be nice to have those centered across the bottom of the page. You may be in the habit of just selecting and centering, and that will work. But notice here when I do that, Expression Web automatically creates a style 2 to center this. If you want to create cleaner styles, you'd be better off to incorporate that alignment into the existing nav bottom style rather than creating a new class style. So let's just undo that. Let's right-click on nav bottom, modify the style, and in block, I want text alignment center. Okay. And that's our layout. These are the elements that we want to appear the same on every page in this site.